Hello, my dandelions and dappelings. Excuse me while I consume a liter of hot chocolate. Right. So over on my Instagram, I put up a Ask Me Anything thing. Yeah, I can't word today. This is gonna be great. And I got some really cool questions, so I thought, hey, we'll do a mini Q&A. Huzzah! Ooh, speaking of huzzah, I am currently working on a Captain Jack Sparrow cosplay. Hang on, I want to show you the weave. Ooh, how do I get back in? Ta-da! He's... I'm so happy! In my youth, I cosplayed as Jack Sparrow. I say cosplayed, it was for a school play, and it was atrocious. So it feels good to actually be costuming as Captain Jack as an older man instead of like a twinky teenage boy. And this ring, that's one of my Captain Jack rings. Does anyone else do this? That when they get items for their cosplay through in the post, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna wear that for the next month, I guess. The other two cosplays that I'm currently working on are Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy and possibly Aziraphale from Good Omens. So questions, let's do this thing. Jack is a troglodyte, Jack is a fuddy-duddy, and struggles greatly with technology, so bear with. Should have figured this out before I started filming, but here we are. Start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. I'm not going to try and pronounce usernames because I will make a damn fool out of myself. So how long have you been cosplaying for? Bugger me, I have been cosplaying for about 15 years. You would think that I would have made more progress in the sort of quality of my cosplays in 15 years, but no, here I am, still a scrub, but still thoroughly enjoying it. It's nice to be able to do characters that I couldn't do when I was younger. It's sad letting go of some characters that I think I physically cannot pull off anymore because I'm not youthful enough. Because I'm getting older. How are you? Just so cool. I'm not. I'm boiling. Well, was a poor choice today, but vintage. What is your latest favorite book? Oh God, what am I currently reading? What am I currently reading? Jefferson vs. Hamilton. And it takes me a long time to get through these books because I sit and annotate them as I go. Which I know, Sammy, riles you up something crazy. For Sammy, if you're watching, I'm just gonna show you some more pages of me writing in these books and me breaking the spines as well, because I believe in breaking the spines of books as you read them. I believe that books should be well worn and well loved. None of this fancy mincy wincy, keep them neaty weety. None of that nonsense in this household. We don't stand for well-kept books in this household. We like loved books. Tips for making handmade props out of regular stuff. This might be a response to the fact that I created the Necronomicon out of Amazon boxes. I'm just going to confess to the fact that I am bloody awful at making props. So I really have no advice apart from glue guns are your best friends. Glue gun and prayers. Why would you ask this? My favorite musical. Technically, my favorite musical is Phantom of the Opera. And it is in my will for Music of the Night to be played at my funeral. Now I'm weighing it up. This is an awful question. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a tie between Phantom of the Opera and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Just want to tell you you're an amazing person and the world is better for having you in it. Shucks, frick. Thank you, Alexandra. I don't know how to respond to that. Apart from, thank you. Making me blush. Sorry, my pocket watch dangly bit is doing a dance and I'm trying to reattach it. Right, Morgan, what are some of your favorite things to create, write, draw? I either like writing stuff that's very Diana Wynne Jones, sort of like extreme fantasy, but with silliness really blended into it. So sort of like Terry Pratchett and Diana Wynne Jones, which is often set in my head sort of Regency era. I like writing Regency magic, which is why I love. Don't know if you can see it. Just about. You can just see him poking there. Oh, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Oh, God. Oh, it tickles my pickle. Or, complete opposite, Lovecraft, Victoriana, Gothic, macabre horror. That is my Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm either like, yay, fun, frolicking fantasy, or make them suffer. Oh no. Have you ever considered acting professionally in shows and musicals? I know I will go to my deathbed regretting it, and it'll be my biggest regret in life that I never pursued acting professionally. Weirdly, I wouldn't want to act in movies. I'd only want to act on the stage. I wouldn't want to do movie acting. Meh. I would love to do professional acting. Oh well, next life. Favorite ancient society and why? It's got to be ancient Greece. Why? The same reason I think a lot of people like it is because of the myth, the mythology, the storytelling. That's why I did classical civilizations as A-level. So I can now identify columns like a freaking boss. Any good book recommendations? I've read all of mine and I hope you're doing all right in the lockdown. I'm doing swell. It depends if you like fiction or non-fiction. Non-fiction, boy, I can recommend that out the wazoo. One of my favorite books of all time is A Little History of the World by this German author, E.H. Gombrich, I'm gonna say. He tells the history of the world like it's a fairy tale, and it's so cute to read. It's so cozy to read. I love it. Movie or book recommendations for the summer. So I've done a lot of book. I don't know about you guys, but new movies are just not doing it for me. They're not tickling my pickle. But underrated movies, Hotel Artemis. Oh, God, I cannot recommend Hotel Artemis any more highly. Characters are brilliant, the narrative is brilliant, the acting is phenomenal. The aesthetic of it is, oh God, too much for me. I think Hotel Artemis very much is a love it or leave it movie. I can't compare it to anything apart from Hotel Artemis. It's so unique in its flavor, and it's got Charlie Day in, who is my man crush. Him and Jason Isaacs, don't get me wrong, Jason Isaacs is my other man crush. Those are two very different men, very different. Out of the 6 in the video that you made, favorite and least favorite king. Least favorite is probably King John. And George, this is such a difficult question to answer. I love all of them. I loved playing Charles I because he was so different. Whenever he's portrayed in movies, he has this sort of sober regalness to him, this elegance. Damn you for asking that difficult question. Would you join other cosplayers to make YouTube videos? Absolutely. Collaborations are the way forward. You know, I think it's great fun when you can bring other creative forces to the table. It's new and it's exciting because you can only do your own stuff for so long before it becomes quite stale and you get sick of it, and you need that sort of fresh pep in your step from other people. I love your Dragon Age cosplayers. Will you upload them here too? Keep up the amazing work. The character who I'd like to do most from Dragon Age is actually Alistair. As for uploading content from my old channel onto this one, I have really wrestled with that idea, and I feel like it's almost like I want to separate the two of new and old chapter. I don't want to sort of blend and put them in a blender together. So I'm sort of keeping that separate, and it's still on that channel for people to view and to enjoy, which is great. But if I do create any more Dragon Age content, then I will put it on this channel. Keep an eye on the horizon, and I might be doing Dragon Age at one point. If people want Dragon Age content, then yes, absolutely I will create it. Who is your all-time favorite superhero? Nightcrawler. That was easy. X-Men wise, it's Nightcrawler, followed by Charles Xavier. Favorite hero in Avengers? Loki's not a hero, I'm not allowed to say Loki. But Loki's a hero in his own story. Away from the X-Men, in the Avengers realm, my favourite hero is Peggy Carter. Not just because of the aesthetic, and not because she is so smoking hot it hurts. I love her. I think she is one of the most well-written characters. DC. I love DC for the villains, Riddler being my favourite. I detest the DC heroes. Unless it's Lego Batman. If it's Lego Batman, then yeah. Have you ever read The Song of Achilles? I have tried and I couldn't get into it, so sorry. Who in history would you say has inspired you the most? Bugger. I'm in love with so many dead people, it's terrifying. I find Hamilton's story very interesting historically, but I wouldn't say he inspires me personally. Oh God, that's a really tough question. I'm gonna have to do that in a different video. I'm so sorry. How would you name your children? Awfully. If anyone ever allowed me to be a father. I can barely take care of myself, so the thought of me looking after other human beings. Let's speak hypothetically if I did have children. First of all, they would hate me because I would give them vintage oldie names. Like, I love the name Sybil. I love the name Edith, and my children would hate me, and I would give them about 5 names. There are so many good names I could name my children. If it was a boy, I'd name my son Gabriel, Tristan, Theodore, Alexander, Hugh. I really like the name Hugh. I really like the name Robert, Charles, Victor. It's a good name. Vincent, Percival. Oh, I'd name my child Percy. And if it was a girl, it'd be something like Rosellen, or Dorothy, Helena, Hazel, Florence, Josephine. I love the name Josephine. Oof. I'm so sorry to my non-existing future children. I've never been given that question before. That's marvelous. What motivates you to create? I'm just gonna be honest and say, you guys, if I am feeling in a slump creatively, I go online and I read comments and it just kicks me in the ass to create. Friends, obviously, friends are a huge influence on it. Hi Victor, hey, hello. What does your ideal inspirational place look like and what's your dream adventure? Okay, I'll let you have it, you cad, that's a double question. Ideal inspirational place. Anything historical, pretty much. Anything that's oldie-timey, oldie-worldy. So getting away from anything modern, basically. My dream adventure? I think I've almost completed my dream adventures. I've done a historic tour of the East Coast of America, so I've done all the big sites. And I've done the ancient Greek trails, so I sort of feel like I've done my bucket list of adventures. I will never stop exploring and I will find that adventure. Bring me that horizon. I will find it as I go, but I feel very privileged and honoured to say that I've done sort of my big bucket list adventures. I feel very, very pleased that I'm able to go to the grave knowing that. Are you Eddie Redmayne's lost brother or what? Loads of people say this, they're like, you look like Eddie Redmayne, and that's a huge compliment because Eddie Redmayne's attractive. When I'm cosplaying as Newt or Marius, when I'm actively trying to make my face look like Eddie Redmayne, I super get it, like, because I'm using makeup to disguise myself. I don't see it in everyday life. How were you introduced to the Labyrinth? My mum showed me the Labyrinth when I was a kid. Whew, I must have been 6, 7. And since then I've been a huge admirer of Jim Henson, puppetry, magic, David Bowie's crotch, huge fan of his work. And I love Brian Froud, the guy who did all the designs. He's an incredible artist and his mind is just magic. How are you keeping today? Good, I think. Let's go with yes. Do you reply to DMs? I do. I do. Please do not be upset if I don't reply. As very close friends will tell you, I'm atrocious at answering and replying to messages. People can send me a message and it can take me anything between 10 minutes to 10 days to a month, and sometimes not at all. My own mother sometimes doesn't get replies out of me. I get anxious replying to messages, and I shouldn't, but I do. So I do read DMs, but I don't always reply. I'm freaking awful at communication. Quick fire round. If you could go back in time, where would you go? 1920s or 18th century? What quote do you feel represents you or you relate to? My favourite quote of all time is Lord Byron, which is, always laugh when you can, it is a cheap medicine. And that is very much my life philosophy. Favourite part of the day? Favourite part of the day is noon. I feel like that's sort of like when I've assembled myself into enough of a human to be able to accomplish things. What's the one thing that can always put a smile on your face? Why one? There are so many. Oh, Vicky, why would you ask me this question? If you had 5 minutes, who would you spend it with? Number 1, Byron. Number 2, Francis Dashwood. Oh, God! Oh my God! Oh, Vicky, no, why would you ask me this? Oh, that's the answer to my question earlier of who's your favourite historic character. Byron. For those of you who don't know, I work at Historic Site as a tour guide, and I have the pleasure of talking about the infamous Hellfire Club led by Sir Francis Dashwood in the 18th century. I adore Lord Byron so very much. But I would have 5 minutes with Sir Francis Dashwood. Yeah, I think I would choose profession over personal, because there are so many questions that I have that we just do not have the answer to, especially because so much, but what was on Byron's last papers before they burnt them? There's so much paper burning. Oh, frick. I'm gonna go, no, lock in. Francis Dashwood, 5 minutes. That was, oh God, I might vomit, that was horrible. What would you title the book of your life? Either Jack versus Nature or That Escalated Quickly. yes, I think that will do for the Q&A today. This was only meant to be like a 10-minute video. It's gonna be so much longer. Thank you for everyone who sent a question, even if some of them were tearing my mind apart. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this slightly longer video. I'll do more occasionally. Even if it's only like once a month, I might chuck up a long video like this. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Please know that you have my endless gratitude. And of course, stay magical. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.